Welcome to Let's Chat with Auto Repair Boss. My name is Jim Parker. I specialize in helping people sell auto repair businesses across the country. If you're thinking about selling your auto repair business in the next couple years, this is a perfect show for you because this is the show where you're going to learn how you can position your business so that it's most likely going to sell. You get the best possible price you can, and you maximize the terms that benefit you. If you're not thinking about selling your business in the next couple years, this is still a great show because there's going to be a lot of content on this show that will lead you to a situation where you can run your business more efficiently, more profitable, and make the business less stressful overall. I really appreciate you joining today. I was really excited because I interviewed Gabe Davis from Cinch. He's the manager and a partner over there. I interviewed him the other day. It was a great interview. They have a software program that I think is just amazing. It's basically a CRM on steroids. They call it a CDXP, which is a customer data experience platform. And what it does is it allows you to maximize your marketing, cut back on expenses, and track your customers so well and so defined. It's really great program. And so I don't want to hold off any longer. Let's just go ahead and jump into that interview. But before we do, please do me a favor and do yourself a favor so you don't miss any of the content. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video and leave us a comment or question or anything that you want us to cover in the future. Well, I appreciate you joining, and I hope you like the show. Thank you. Gabe, I'm really excited to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, it's great to be here with you, Jim. It's a little cold where I'm at. I'm looking at a bunch of snow outside, but just being with you brings some warmth. The excitement about talking about the industry, warms my heart. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I love that answer. I love that answer. So, hey, for the people that are not listening, let's start off and maybe you can give us a brief overview of how Cinch can help auto repair businesses in their daily work.
Yeah, totally. So Cinch, our whole goal is to help automotive repair shop owners or tire shop owners to better communicate with their customers and make those communications more personable, more timed, and more targeted. And the way we do that is by being the best in the industry in customer data. And what I mean by that is, we clean that customer data, we match it across sources. We talk more about this later, but the whole goal is we understand your customers from a 360-degree view so that we can better communicate with them for offers, for when they're due for services, asking them for reviews, all that good stuff. The goal is smart communication powered by smart data.
Yeah, Gabe, before we go any further, I just want to let the audience know the reason I was so excited to have Gabe on today. I've known Gabe for a while now, and the reason I wanted to have Gabe on is because they deal with a lot of the data, obviously, in what they do. And the data of what you own as your data as a business owner is so valuable. When a buyer's coming on them, of course, what I do is I help people sell auto repair businesses. That's what I specialize in. And when a buyer is looking to acquire a business, one of the biggest things they want to concentrate on is the customer database. And so that's why I was really excited to have Gabe on. And even if you're not thinking about selling your business and you're thinking about holding on to your business, I think you're going to find through this conversation with Gabe is there's so much benefit that you're going to see just to make sure that your data's, cleaned up like he said, and you're utilizing that data as much as you possibly can. So, Gabe, the data in the auto repair industry seems to be getting more and more important. Can you kind of explain to the audience why that is? And
yeah, so there's several types of data, right? So there's the transactional data. How much did Gabe spend when he came in to get his tires rotated and to get his oil changed and those services? So there's the transactional data, which is important because this helps us understand how valuable is Gabe to us. Also, what services has Gabe had or not had at the shop, right? Just as important. Gabe comes in, gets the tires rotated, gets the oil changed, but the technician comes out and shows me that the air filter's dirty and says, Gabe, you ought to get this replaced. I go, no, this bill's getting too high anyways. It's really important that we're trying to capture not just the purchases, but the decline services, which is kind of a buzzword in the industry. So that transactional data becomes really important when we want to analyze how valuable is Gabe, what's his purchasing behavior, both what he bought and didn't buy. So that's transactional data. Customer data is obviously like more what's Gabe's phone number, email address, physical address. Really important things for shops to collect. And sometimes we bring on new shops and we look at their data and 20% of their customers they've got an email for. 80% they don't. So that's 80% of their customer base that we have one less marketing channel to communicate with them. Everyone does usually a pretty good job with phone numbers, but emails are still valuable and physical addresses as well. So the customer data becomes really important to figure out through what channels we can communicate with the customers. Transactional data helps us know what story we need to tell when we're reaching out to them. So these things are just so important when you're trying to understand your customers, how to communicate to them, and what the messaging should be.
And you know what? When a buyer is looking to acquire a business and they don't know how many people do you have in your database, what information do you have on the database? In the database, is it the phone number, email, physical address? How many times a year are they coming? Like it goes on. And the more detailed your data is, the more appealing it is to a buyer. And Gabe, is it a lot of inputting? I mean, I'm sure in the beginning it might be, but like how does that look from like all the input you have to do with the data?
Yeah, great question. So at least on our side, on Cinch, we're just connecting to your data sources. So the point of sale or the shop management system. Also, if you're doing, you should have a Google My Business account. We're connecting to that as well. If you're doing any digital ads and you've got like a landing page that people are filling out, we're connecting to that as well. And our software just does its thing. So as long as we've got those connections, those integrations set up, as long as those information tunnels are live, Cinch is grabbing that data in real time, bringing it in, and again, doing some of that magic to clean and match it so that we can, again, better understand your customers, better understand their value to you. And one thing I was going to bring up just as you're talking about, from the buyer standpoint, they want to see data. They want to see customer data. One tool that I really love in Cinch is we are tracking how a shop is doing on collecting customer data. So phone number, email, physical address. And you've got a dashboard that shows, okay, right now we're at 60%, let's say, email capture rate. And you can, in the dashboard in Cinch, can track, okay, how is our shop improving? Are we collecting more emails now? And so, as one of your clients, let's say, is trying to gear up to sell their shop, they might want to start coaching their team and tracking that type of stuff, and maybe even giving special bonuses if we can get to 80% email capture rate or whatever. And Cinch, it's really easy to track that progress. So very, very important on the data side, and us getting your data is really easy once those integrations are set up.
I want to clarify something for the listeners just so they understand that. And this isn't about selling businesses. This is about this podcast right now is geared towards, and what we're going to be talking about is Cinch. And I'm not doing it as an infomercial for Cinch. I'm doing this because it seems like they've got a really great software that can really improve your business and really, they can improve your business. And how I look at it as a business broker, somebody that specializes in selling auto repair businesses, is that they, if you follow what they're doing and you hire them, it is going to make it better when a buyer comes along and you can say, hey, we've got all this information. It's going to get a buyer excited. But I do want to say that if you're listening to this, when you're selling your business, you do not hand over your clients to a buyer until they've actually given you the money. So, it's not like we're going to take this list and go, hey, buyers, this is their list. No, it's basically saying, hey, this is how many contacts are in there. This is the information that's in there, blah, blah, blah. And you talk in very general terms. And then, obviously post-closing, that's when you would actually give that information up. So if you're thinking about selling your business on your own, which I hope you're not for numerous reasons, like that should be a podcast in its own, but never give up your client database to a buyer until you received your money for the acquisition of the sale. Dave, I know you've touched on a few things through the conversation already, but what is the difference between Cinch? Because Cinch isn't really a CRM; it's more than a CRM. Can you kind of touch a little bit more on that?
Yeah. I was thinking about that recently. So Cinch is technically called a CDP, which is a customer data platform. And there's that famous quote. I think it's from Henry Ford, where he said, like, if I would have asked my customers what they wanted, they would have asked for a faster horse or something like that, you know? And since there's a lot of great CRMs in the automotive space that do some good stuff and some great stuff, the difference with a customer data platform, which Cinch is, and a traditional CRM in the automotive space, there's a couple differences. The first and maybe the most important is a traditional CRM is just grabbing your customer data from the point of sale, and it's going in and it's essentially going through like just a line where nothing happens with that data, and it's just throwing back out in marketing communications what got in. Meaning, and the best and easiest example is you might have two versions of me in your point of sale, because I went to your location on Main Street because it's close to my work, and I said my name was Gabe. And then 2 months later, I went to your location on University Avenue because it's close to my home, and I said my name's Gabriel. So there's two accounts for me in your point of sale, and that goes through a traditional automotive CRM. And what pops out the other side is I'm going to get two notifications unnecessarily sometimes for service reminders. And this happened to me in real life. This happened in November. I was due for admissions on my car. I got two mailers in the mail because they have two accounts for me. One mailer said Gabe, one mailer said Gabriel. They got two accounts for me in their point of sale. Their CRM isn't doing the hard work to clean and match that data, so they double market spend on me, versus a CRM a CDP like Cinch that's going to grab that data, use AI and machine learning to say, oh, Gabe and Gabriel, that's the same guy. Just send him one marketing communication, one email, mailer, and text message for his admissions for his Toyota Tacoma. Don't double send him. So that's kind of, that is one of the primary differences with a CDP versus a CRM is the data cleaning part. And the second big difference is our ability to be omni-channel and really segment your customers any which way we want. Meaning, we had a client recently who said they were on a CRM. They said we had Tesla owners coming to us upset because they were getting oil change reminders. And the one thing I made this joke, the one way that you know somebody's a Tesla owner is that they're going to tell you that they're a Tesla owner. They're going to let you know, and I can say that because my brother's a Tesla owner. So they're going to let you know they're a Tesla owner. If they get an oil change, they're going to be like, "Don't you know I'm a Tesla owner? I don't need an oil change." And that's because
it shows that it comes across you're disconnected with your customer too.
Yeah, you're showing that we're automating everything and we don't care to be personalized. And a CRM is everything's kind of baked and cemented in. This is the process. Every customer gets a reminder at 3 months for oil change reminders. Whether they ever got an oil change, whether they have a car that needs an oil change, whether they've driven enough miles to need an oil change, right? Cinch is a lot more custom and smart about the way that we do service reminders, where we're calculating, okay, how many miles has Gabe driven? Does he have a car that's had an oil change before and needs an oil change before we send out those communications? So it's the smart aspects of a CDP versus a CRM that really set us apart. That data and then the communications that are much more targeted and smart, I'll say.
So how does this also apply to like tire shops and general auto repair businesses and, other collision shops, things like that?
Yeah, so good question. So, a tire shop, and we've got a lot of really good tire customers, but there's similar services. So and to give a little background, we're really well experienced in the quick lube space, where we've been in there for it's probably been almost 6 or 7 years that we've been working with big multi-location franchisees of the big quick lube brands, and we built out this process that we can now take any service that you provide. And for tires example, it's, you're selling tires, you're doing tire rotations, you're maybe doing, realignments or balances, those kind of tire specific services. Our software is built out in a way such that we can say, not just remind Gabe at, let's say, 5,000 miles that he's due for a tire rotation. We're also calculating based off of Gabe's driving history, his mileage, when is he actually going to hit 5,000 miles? We're not going to treat Gabe the same, let's say that Gabe is a Uber driver and Jim, you're a remote worker. You only drive to go to the grocery store and go out to eat or something. I need an oil change, or I need a tire rotation in a month because of the volume that I drive. You need the tire rotation in 6 months because of the volume you drive. Cinch is calculating that to better target exactly when you are really due. And these calculations are based on the owner's suggestion, the shop owner's suggestion. The shop owner can say, okay, tire rotations we want to do when people reach 5,000 miles or when they reach 4 months, whichever comes first. And so any service that you're providing, as long as the data is in the point of sale and we can access it to say this POS code means tire rotation, as long as we can access that, we can create that custom campaign, or we call it a journey, where we're saying, okay, when they hit 5,000 miles, send them the reminder for tire rotations. And again, that could be any service, tire rotations, purchasing new tires, balances, all that good stuff.
So regardless of what subcategory that you're in the automotive industry, it doesn't matter. You're kind of what you guys are doing is you got a software that's kind of breaking it down, that's more custom specific than all the other CRMs out there, which you're not a CRM. And by the way, I know you said it, but please remind me again, what does CDP stand for?
CDP is Customer Data Platform. And the easiest way to say it or explain it is this is kind of the next evolution of CRM. It includes some smart capabilities that are just going to make your communications all the better, all the more personalized, all the more targeted.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, what are some of the biggest challenges that auto repair and tire shops face when managing customer relationships? Is there anything else you can add?
Well, just to summarize, and you already hinted at this, it's how do you, especially as you're looking to grow and as you're looking to be more competitive, let's say in the modern market, how do you automate things without sacrificing personalization? Automation without sacrificing personalization is kind of the tagline that I've been using, because you're exactly right. Like when I get the double mailers that say Gabe and Gabriel, I know that you've automated something. It doesn't feel as personal. When I get the mailer that says Dear Customer, I know it's not personal. When the Tesla owner gets an oil change reminder, I know it's not personal. And so how can you automate things without sacrificing personalization is a big challenge when it comes to customer communications. And then the second one is, again, how can you make these communications smarter so that I'm getting it when I'm really due? Because if I'm an Uber driver and I've had a service at your shop, when my check engine light goes on, I'm pulling into the nearest shop, not yours, because your message isn't coming for another 2 months to remind me about my oil change or my tire rotation. It's too late. You've lost me. But if you're smart on your communications, they're coming when I'm really due. I would have gotten that text message, a week before that light came on. I would have gone straight to you because you're my shop of choice, and I liked the service last time. So those are the struggles I see when it comes to customer communication.
So let me ask you this then, Gabe, because you gave a great example of the Uber driver. Like if you were an Uber driver and I was not an Uber driver, and there's a difference, because I'm working, let's just say I'm working from home, and you're an Uber driver, blah blah blah. But what about a scenario where there's me and my car, and then my wife, she has a car, and then I have an adult child that has a car, and obviously we're under the same, not adult child, but a driving age child.
Right.
What how does that play in when there's multiple cars in the same household?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Cinch, so one important thing is that at least if, let's say that you have brought in your wife's car and you're bringing your teenage kid's car, like you just take that on as part of your responsibilities, being the dad of the house, like you're doing that hard work. We can roll all of those transactions back up into one household within Cinch, meaning, and again, this has to do with the shop understanding how valuable are you as a customer. If you're a 3-car household, you are a top-tier customer for any shop. And if your software, if a shop's software is not recognizing These 3 cars all roll up to Jim. All the spend on service, on new tires, this all rolls up to Jim, and they don't calculate and recognize that you're a top 10% customer based off all those transactions. Then you've got a problem. If they're treating, your car and the other cars in your household as accounts, which most softwares do, they say the car is the customer. They don't recognize there's an owner of these products that all this value is rolling up to. Again, when you're trying to understand your customer base, you're going to mess up. You're going to go, oh, cool, we've got one Toyota that spent this amount of money over the last 12 months. We've got one Ford. No, what you have is a owner of the Toyota and the Ford who's made multiple transactions this year and is a top tier customer. And again, having a software that can recognize and roll up that many to one relationship is unique in the space, but also really crucial when understanding your customer base.
Well, let's take the oil and lube for a minute. What about like the people that, they might go to 3 different oil and lube places, that are not, under one ownership, they go to company A, they go to company B, they go to company C, they just kind of go wherever they are when they're running errands or whatever. Does Cinch change it differently or treat that differently?
Obviously, and this has to do with just data laws in general. We don't let's say that all or 2 of those oil change spots are Cinch customers that are separate owners. Obviously, we don't break that wall of saying, the data crossing over and recognizing that customer A is the same customer A over here. But the software can be, again, there's the flexibility here and kind of free market elements where it's saying, okay, which of these 2 shops is maybe willing to give the better discount, or which of these 2 shops is going to tinker with their Cinch to remind them earlier. Or, I mean, like in our basic journeys, and we have what we call pre-built journeys, which we can talk about later, but our basic pre-built journey, or campaign, you might call it, is set up to say, okay, Gabe didn't come in for his oil change. We knew he was due on this date. He didn't come in. We're going to continue to message him up until when we know he would be due for a second oil change. And we call that a lapsed customer if he misses one oil change. If he then misses that second oil change, we then consider him a lost customer. And there's different strategies within the software that you can then employ. Again, like maybe a heavier coupon discount. Maybe it's time to send him a mailer. There's different things that you can do at that point within the software to trigger re-engagement or drip campaigns.
Wow. Again, so you're getting really specific with each customer, and really the owner or the manager doesn't even have to do very much. It's the system's doing it all tailored to what's happening with that one customer.
Correct. So
I love
it. Yeah, and that's why we call it a journey, not campaign's kind of the catch-all term, but journey is you and I are both on separate experiences with the communications from the shop that we went to.
Oh my gosh.
Even though we
wait, Gabe, I got to pause you. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I love that. Instead of a marketing campaign, it's a journey. I love that. Yeah. That's great. That's a whole different way of looking at things. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just had to say that.
That's why I loved it too. So when I first started at Cinch, and that's been almost 3 years now, I'd never really heard that term, but it makes sense. And it's we're both, and again, we could have the same car, we could go to the same shop on the same day, but based off of our data and based off our interactions with the marketing communications, we're going to have 2 separate experiences when it comes to the reminders to come back in, right? And so, again, like, and a lot of this stuff is all pre-built, but when a new customer comes on to Cinch, we walk them through these journeys, and they might say to us, you know what, I want to customize this and this, or change the verbiage here and here. But once they get that approval and the journey's launched, it's just going. And every day the software wakes up and goes, okay, who's new that needs to go on the next step in this journey?
It'll take me for an example. And gosh, this is going to sound really bad, Kate. I would love to save $10 on an oil change. And again, this is for tires, general auto repair. It's for all different kinds of auto repair businesses and maintenance businesses. But let's just stick with oil and lube real quick, since we're kind of going down that rabbit hole. I would love to save $10 on an oil change, and I do get postcards in the mail that say, hey, save $10 on your next oil change. I don't think I've ever brought one into an actual shop maybe once or twice, because I always forget it at home. To me, I'm out running errands. I'm like, I got to get my oil changed. To me, it's just I want to get in, get out, get it done. So I'm taking it the system can even differentiate somebody like me versus somebody else that's just like, hey, I'm not going to go in unless I get a discount. And they're always bringing that $10 thing in. Like, could it be set up where I'm not even getting that $10 off coupon?
Yeah,
Then?
so there is and that's one of the real exciting things that we continue to work on here at Cinch is understanding somebody's like price sensitivity. And right now in the software it's not as clean, but every shop owner should be thinking about coupon strategy. And you shouldn't default, and this is a big problem in the industry, you shouldn't default by sending everybody a mailer and every mailer saying 10% off. And certainly within our software right now, you could say, look, if somebody is a lost customer, maybe try and re-engage them at that point with the mailer with 10% off. But if this is a customer that just needs a text message or an email, the software is going to default, especially with the shop owner's permission when we onboard them, is going to default and say, send that text message first or that email first, see if that brings them back in, and don't necessarily offer them a coupon. But if you want to get more crazy and let's say, I just want to offer coupons to my top tier customers, like my top 20% customers, and everybody else, like if they've just come in and spent a little bit of money, then don't offer a coupon. Or you might say, and these are all, again, things that we could talk about in onboarding. You might say, look, if it's a second time customer, like they've come in once, maybe the first one's a coupon to try to get them on the hook. And that could be set up in a journey where we say, oh, this is a second time customer, shoot a coupon their way. And when they have their third visit, their fourth visit, don't do the coupons. So it's all really flexible that way. But
kind of get them in the habit. And then,
you hit on a real industry problem, which is you don't need to default with coupons because a lot of your customer base is loyal. And finding out and identifying who loyal is a task that we're very interested in learning about.
Is it now? What happened? Are you guys actually doing the marketing then too? Like, I mean, you got the data at Cinch, but then okay, the data's in there, and we've been talking about postcards and they're custom. Like, how does that work from the system to going into the whether it's email, text message, postcard? I mean, just the marketing in general. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Yeah, good question. And our marketing team might get angry at me because I said we're a CDP. Our name, our category keeps getting longer. We're technically called a CDXP, which stands for Customer Data Experience Platform. The X means marketing, essentially. And so we, in addition to doing all the data cleaning, we do send out all the text messages. We do send out all the emails. We do send out all of the mailers on behalf of the customer. Now, where things can get interesting is, let's say that a shop works with a marketing agency or an ad agency that they really like, that does really nice design. You know, they can hop into Cinch too. And we've got a lot of shared customers with ad agencies where the ad agency says, look, we've really worked hard on their branding. We are kind of control their company
image.
Voice and their image and the way we speak as a company. And they can hop in and within Cinch, you can do all the design. You can design the mailer the way you want it to look. You can design the email the way you want it to look. And so it really is a marketer's playground in that sense, where it's like, we don't, now it can work out that if marketers got a different software where they like to do designs, great, and they can bring that design into Cinch and it can be a step in a journey.
Okay, so a graphic designer could work in Photoshop because that's like one of the best programs. Then they can take that and they can put it into Cinch. Awesome. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. And but again, if we've also got kind of a full tool there too. So you wanna design it in Cinch, you want the images, you want the dynamic data, which means, hello, customer first name. We noticed that your customer's car. That can all be designed within Cinch, the verbiage on everything, and it can be dynamic that way. So yeah, like this is a tool that is meant to be, one stop in that sense, one stop shop where you can make your marketing look the way you want it to look.
Okay, so let's take the postcards. So they're being printed. Are you guys printing them? Are you guys handling the printing then, or how does that work?
So we have a partner, but what's really nice is we're through our software, we're paying that partner every day here's the list of everyone that needs an email, or excuse me, everyone that needs a mailer. And this is happening. And what's nice is that our partner does daily mail. So it's not like a lot of other services. It's like we do a weekly print. And so, again, this is on the topic of getting the reminder to the customer at the right time. It's not
Love
like,
it.
oh, we know Gabe's really due on Friday, but the daily print is on Monday. So it's going to get printed. Or let's take a different example. Let's say that, it gets printed on Friday, Gabe's due on Friday. It's not in the mail till, Gabe's not going to end up getting it till Wednesday the next week. Gabe's already had his oil change reminder light go off, and he's gone to the nearest Quick Lube on his way to work.
Yeah.
So the mailers are going out every single day, and it's much more timed and targeted that way. So yeah, we have a partner though that we ping every day. Here's everybody that needs a mailer.
And are there any other methods besides postcards and stuff like that from a marketing perspective that can be done with Cinch?
Yeah, great question. So beyond the basic three, which is the mailers, the text message, and the email, we also have a partner called Mailbox Power that we have allowed for them to be a step on our journey. And they can send out specialty gifts like brownies, cookies, gift cards, golf balls. They've got just a whole catalog of like specialty products that will be branded with the shop's logo. So it doesn't say like brownies from Cinch or brownies from Mailbox Power, which is the company that's doing this. It says, these are, has Joe's Garage or whatever as the branding. So it's really slick. So that's another marketing channel we use. And we have a lot of cool use cases for that, where customers have said, when somebody spends over $1,000 on one transaction, we want to give them kind of more of that elegant experience, that even more personal experience. So we're sending them a 2-pack of brownies. Other use cases are like, hey, if somebody leaves a 1-star review, but they're a top tier customer, somebody you don't want to upset, send them brownies and say sorry. So that's another really cool channel that we're using, another marketing channel.
Well, I'm upset at you, Gabe, and I think you need to say sorry by sending me some brownies.
Yeah. Well, I won't say what company it is that's doing that, but if you ever, if you ever need to spend more than $2,000, I know that if I do, I'm going to this repair shop because I'm going to get brownies out of it. So there's that channel. There is also the ability within Cinch to add and remove people to ad audiences on Google and Facebook. Now, what that means is you might say, we want to put people, we've got a new sale, let's say on a certain tire, a Continental tire or something, and we want to target people with ads that are in our customer base that we know are kind of due for a new tire purchase, and we know are big spenders, and like we want to get them with this deal. So with Cinch, we would be able to have a step in a journey where we say, okay, grab all that customer base and put this Facebook or Google ad in front of them. And what's nice about this is that Cinch has the ability, because we're plugged into the point of sale, to recognize, okay, we sent that ad in front of Gabe to get the tires. Oh, check back. Did Gabe have a tire purchase? He did. Now take him out of that ad. And I like to give this real world example. I bought a mattress like 2 years ago from a mattress company. I still got ads on my Google and Facebook for the next like 4 or 5 months. And they were ads from the company I bought the mattress.
Oh, wow. So that's just a waste of money.
It's a waste. It's throwing money down the toilet. Now with Cinch, if that mattress company was using Cinch, they wouldn't have had that problem, because we would be able to say, okay, push Gabe into this ad audience. Once he's made that purchase, take him out. And so that's another channel, is this ability to push people in the ad audiences and remove them. And then the next one that we're working on, and there's similar capabilities if anyone's ever doing like radio ads on Pandora or Spotify, iHeartRadio, same concept. We can put ads into people's radios, what they're listening to on streaming. And then finally, the next channel we're working on, the next marketing channel, we're working on an integration with a robot that will grab a pen and will handwrite a letter and will automatically send that letter in the mail to customers. So again, this is kind of that white glove, elegant experience that you
Wow.
might use for a customer who's had a really high repair order, or a customer that's had a really low review. I mean, there's lots of use cases.
Does it look? You said it again. So a letter goes out with the signature.
Yeah,
Does it
well,
look like an actual wet signature?
yeah, so that's the key difference here, because there is ways to print out,
Yeah.
what looks like handwriting, and I get a lot of those annoying letters in the
Yeah, I
mail
do
where it's,
too, and I you can tell right away.
yeah, you could tell right away. And so this is an actual big pen that they're grabbing with the robot's hand, and they are writing with the pen. So it's really cool.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah,
Seriously. So
and
it's a
and it's
robot that's actually just doing the writing.
yeah, and so it's gonna be, again, like,
And I guess
what.
it's going to be print now, right? Because a lot of these people that are under 25 don't know cursive writing.
Yeah,
I'm not being
yeah,
silly,
yeah.
but
It's not. I don't know if it's gonna be. Well, you have options actually, so you can kind of essentially say, do you want to do it cursive or do you want to do it print? But again, what I love about this, and something that an issue in the industry that Cinch is trying to tackle, is how do you personalize? How do you automate with still keeping it personalized, right? Automation with personalization. And that's what this is. This is, another step in trying to achieve that.
okay. So I'm sorry to get stuck on this little point about the big pen robot with the big bad pen, which is I hadn't heard about that before. That's just fascinating.
Yeah.
Is it just like a generic writing thing, or is it customized to the how that person actually prints?
Yeah, great. Yeah, similar to our emails and our text messages and our mailers, this can be dynamic, which means you can say, don't just say beloved customer, or appreciated customer, thanks for coming in. Say customer first name. Say Jim for the one that goes to Jim. Say Gabe for the one that goes to Gabe. So it can be dynamic that way. Yep, and we appreciate you bringing in your Toyota Tacoma, trusting us to take care of it, Gabe.
I guess what I meant, Gabe, that's really cool. But what I'm asking is, would I give samples of my writing, or is it just
Oh,
whatever? It's
good.
it's kind of I think either way, because people don't recognize people's printing. I'm just curious
Yeah,
more
good
than
question.
anything.
Yeah, so we're still trying to figure it out with this company, but from my understanding is it can actually be in the shop owner's handwriting if you want. So you'll be able to, like, provide some samples. We're still
Good.
trying to work on that with the company that we're demoing this
That's
with right
exciting.
now. But it's going to be a really cool, again, just making things more white glove, making things more customized and more personal.
Well, this is where our world is heading, and the people that stay up on new trends, new technology, things like that, they are going to leave the people that don't in the dust. I kind of feel like right now we're living in the world where, like my father, when he was getting to my age, computers were just starting to be used in the work space, and so he had to really learn computers and at an older age. And I think that's where kind of we're at right now with technology is that you better keep up, or these younger people or the people that are grasping this technology, they're going to leave you in the dust. So
Exactly. And I think this is to a point of your business as well, which is, we'll have prospects sometimes, potential clients that are shop owners looking for a solution like this. It's not uncommon that we hear the phrase, I'm getting old. I'm going to sell this shop soon. I don't know if I want to change anything. And our response is, obviously that's fine. Make your business decision. But let me tell you what, when your buyers are coming and you're trying to sell this thing, having this type of modern technology where you can show,
yep.
here's my customer database, it's clean. Here's the value of them. And by the way, I've got a lot of this stuff automated that is keeping these people loyal. That's just going to make your multiple, I think, much more appetizing. It's going to make your business much more interesting and competitive for buyers, I would assume. And of course, that's more
The easiest, the
Geez.
easier the business operates, the less friction and less stress there is, the easier it operates. There's systems in place that really attracts buyers. Buyers looking at, oh, you
Yeah.
got great systems, got great processes, things like that. Now, from right now we're dealing with an auto industry, like a lot of the industries, that there's a shortage of labor. Like, how does does this improve efficiency at all for the workforce and for the owner, or how does that look, Gabe?
Yeah, so a couple things I would say. Also, not uncommon that we have someone that says, oh, my spouse does a lot of this stuff. My spouse is licking the stamps and throwing things in the mail. So obviously we can help replace that, but a lot of times there's kind of my spouse wants to be a part of the business, so I can understand that. So sometimes somebody has in their shop assigned the role of sending out mailers. We can replace that, obviously. I'd say also your customers from a time with the actual in the shop. One thing that we do really well is we message your customer base on these declined services and we educate them. So it's saying something like, "Hey, Gabe, you declined the cabin air filter when you were in here last time." We can send that automated email to Gabe to say, you're due for this cabin air filter. You declined the service when you were in here 2 weeks ago. We actually have a partner called AutoNet TV. We can actually send videos in that email educating Gabe on the cabin air filter. That way, when I come back in the shop for any declined services, I'm not saying like, oh, there's this weird smell or this weird noise. I kind of know exactly what I need done. So you have more efficiency there when a customer's coming in, where the technician doesn't have to go under the hood and figure out what the problem is. So there's an efficiency being fixed there. And then certainly all this marketing piece where we are, automating all of these communications so that you don't have to lick stamps. You don't have to press send on a text message. You don't have to press send on an email. So we see a lot of efficiencies that way. The last one that I'll say, and this is more of a niche use case for how we've helped with efficiency. You might decide look, I really want to target just my high spenders. My shop is really busy. I actually just need people who are spending a lot more money. And you could send up the journeys to say, look, remind everybody about basic services maybe, but remind my top people about my high spend or however you wanted to orchestrate that, to make sure that people who are coming in are your best customers, so that you're not flooded with people getting low margin services. So another way that some of our customers have chosen to use Cinch to be more efficient, I'll say.
Okay, that's great. So it's amazing. I know we've talked a few times, Gabe. We've known each other for a while, and we've talked about your program on a couple different occasions, and I'm glad we're doing this because I'm learning so much from you, and I appreciate that. A lot of shop owners, they when I go to sell their business, their data is dirty. It's outdated information, and and it's inaccurate information and things like that. And that's really important to a buyer. And even if you're not looking to sell your business, again, you don't want to have dirty data. How does Cinch clean that up and enhance that customer data,
Great
other
question.
than things maybe we've already spoke about?
Yeah, so a lot that we've already addressed is this matching, and we are using machine learning AI to do that, where we're saying, oh, Gabe, who had this transaction here, is the same Gabriel that had this transaction at the second shop location. So there is that element of AI to clean and match that data, give you one view of Gabe. What else is unique is Cinch is also doing that with the Google My Business, which I think I hinted at earlier, where we're going, oh, there's this Gabe who left a Google review yesterday. There's also Gabe who had the transaction yesterday in the shop. That's the same guy. And then if we're working with your digital ads and there's a Gabe that filled out a landing page, we can grab that data. So this is how we're cleaning that data, is using AI to recognize these are all the same guy. And so that's really, and I've touched on a lot of that already, but that's really the cleaning of the data. And the value in that, again, is now you want to segment your customers, slice and dice it down to a really specific group of a subset of your customer base. You can do that now. You want to grab customers that left a 1-star review, who are top 20% customers. You can do that because we've collected and cleaned that data.
Well, yeah, let's talk about this for a minute because you're touching on online reputation, which is huge right now. Does Cinch do anything to help with online reputations, reviews, customer feedback, things like that?
Yeah, totally. So we're asking for reviews on behalf of the shop, and we're doing that via text message and email right after they've had a transaction. Some unique things that we're doing that are different, I think, compared to other folks in the industry, is we also have the ability to auto respond to those reviews. So we can post on Google on your behalf, a response to that review. What some and another unique use case here that a lot of customers that are on Cinch are using is we might say, and we can say, Cinch auto respond to 4 and 5 star reviews. If it's a 3, a 2, or a 1, send that to or notify the shop manager or the shop owner. They can respond to that review. They can address it. Now, also where Cinch is unique, let's say that situation happens. 1 star review comes in, Cinch notifies shop owner. 1 star came in, go check it out. Cinch isn't going to auto respond to it because we've done that and onboarded. We've agreed that's the way the process is going to be. Shop owner can log into Cinch, and we piped that review in. But again, we've matched that review to a customer's profile. So shop owner can come in, and instead of just kind of blindly responding to that review, let's say the review is like, the service was late, the bathroom was not clean, the guy's breath smelled, whatever. Like they said this angry review. The shop owner can, within Cinch, see that review, click on the customer's name within Cinch, and you'll get that customer's experience and background with your shop. How much has Gabe spent? And then assuming that Gabe's
How
the
many
guy
times has he been in there?
how much has he been in there? And what tier customer is he? Is he a 1 tier? Is he a top tier customer? Now, as the shop owner, I'm looking at that and I'm going, oh, Gabe's had 3 transactions in the last 12 months. He has spent, over $2,000. He has multiple cars.
He gets the brownies.
Yeah, he's a brownie customer, right? And in the example that we mentioned earlier, he's got multiple cars. He's brought in multiple cars in the last year. Now, as the shop owner, I'm putting a little bit more thought into that response to that Google review, or I'm just picking up the phone and calling Gabe and saying, Gabe, I saw this. I'm taking care of it internally. This was a new guy we were training. I'm going to make sure he has a Listerine pack before he talks with you so his breath doesn't smell. Like whatever it is, you have, again, we're arming you with more ammo on customer information before you blindly respond to.
Yeah, and then if you do that, and you pick up that phone and you call them, you take care of them, and you really bend over backwards for them. Maybe you can get that bad Google review removed from Google.
Oh, and even on the same, one other note on that. Responding to reviews, even the bad ones, is an important thing to do for any shop owner. Is because, and I heard this quote recently. Your response to a bad review isn't just for that customer; it's for your next customer. Because when the customers are looking on, I'll check when I'm going to any business, and this is very typical, I think, of modern consumers. If I move into a new neighborhood and I look up local shops, I'm going to look at the reviews. That's just what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
And if everything is a 5-star review, it seems inauthentic. It doesn't seem real. So I'll go check and see if there's a 1-star review. But then I'm going to go see if there's a response to that 1-star review. And was it, hey, I'm so sorry. We are going to take care of this. We appreciate our customers. Let's make this right. And you see that, you feel encouraged, and you're more likely to engage. So I always tell shop owners, make sure you're responding to every review that comes in, 1-star through 5-star, right?
Yeah, and you know what? This is a good thing too. I'm not. I heard this from a marketing person one time, and it's a good thing to mention. I don't know if there's any validity to it, but I was told that you should respond to those reviews within 24 hours for algorithm purposes for Google to, helps with your SEO or something like that. So, the fact that you guys are handling the 4 and 5 stars automatically, shop owner or the shop manager is getting notified by the 2 and 3. Yeah, it's a good thing. But regardless whether you use Cinch or not, I think a business owner, you respond to those in 24 hours. I know you're busy. You're the business owner's busy, but you got to respond. So
Oh,
you had mentioned to me at one point that it also works with Google and Meta ads. Can you kind of dig into that a little bit? Meta's Facebook slash Instagram.
right,
But
right.
yeah,
I'll say a couple things on that. So we already talked about the adding or removing people from ad audiences, right? So that's one step in a journey where we can say, add Gabe, put this Facebook ad in front of him about the new tire sale. Remove him from that ad audience once he's made a purchase. So that's one way that we're interacting with your Google and Facebook ads. I will make a point of clarification there. We are not designing your Google or Facebook ads, right? So that's something that you're using an agency for. You've got somebody internal who can do. But because we've got the data, the customer data, we can push and remove people from those ad audiences. The second thing I'll mention is this ability to have data that comes from your ads further enrich the customer data that Cinch is collecting and matching. And that does require you to have like a landing page. So again, the ad could say, click here to schedule an appointment to come into the shop. And that might be an ad that you're running to acquire new business. Just shooting out this Facebook and Google ad that says you've got a 10% off for first-time customers on this service. As long as that ad, when I click on that ad, has a landing page where I'm filling out information. My name's Gabe. Here's my email. Here's my phone number. Here's the calendar that's on that landing page where I can click and say the time I want to come in. Cinch can grab all that information, add that to Gabe's profile, or help create Gabe's profile. And this is an important point for any ad agency out there or any smart business owner. You want to know the actual value that you're getting out of your Facebook and Google ads. Cinch helps you do that. So Google or Facebook is going to tell you, oh, Gabe clicked on an ad. Everything that Gabe, give us credit for that. Like give us the $100 that Gabe spent or whatever, credit that to us. When in reality, Gabe clicked on that ad. He also got a text message and an email. Because Cinch is plugged into all these marketing channels, we're able to more correctly say, oh, Gabe spent $100. Give 30% credit to Facebook because he saw that Facebook ad. Give 30% credit to that text message we sent him and equal credit to the email we sent him. So we're helping you understand what's the ROI that you're getting from your marketing channels. And digital ads being one of those, so Google and Facebook ads, we're helping you connect the dot and say, Gabe spent $100 here. He saw this ad for the first time. That ad gets $100 credit. So it's kind of a convoluted explanation there, kind of a word salad. But again, it's, Cinch is interacting with your ads to understand how effective they are and push them to customers at the right time.
that's great. I'm listening to you, Gabe, and I know from conversations we've had in the past, this is not the case. But I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, watch, the audience is probably sitting here thinking, well, this is only applies to really big shops or multi-location shops. What about the independent? Can you touch on, how applicable is this for the smaller shop, one location?
This is a real this is a question that we get a lot because at our core, Cinch was originally built for multi-location businesses. Now we've learned through experience that the small shop has a lot of these same issues. They've got dirty data. They actually don't. I mean, a big location might have a marketer internally who can do a lot of the stuff. Small shop, the owner's under the hood all the time. They don't have all the time in the world to work on their business. So the pain points that Cinch addresses of cleaning the data, automating things while keeping it personalized, can help the small shop owner. And what we've built out in the last year or so is a option of our software that we're calling Cinch Formula, which is more plug and play, which is, these are journeys that are pre-built, they are ready to go, and you don't have to do anything beyond verify that you like the way that we've done your creative, verify that you're okay with the verbiage and the coupons that we may or may not be offering. Tell us if you want us to auto respond to your reviews or not, and then press go, and it's running in the background. I will say, a lot of the problems, the problem of matching data. If you're a multi-location shop, you need to be talking to Cinch or a product like Cinch that's cleaning your data. Like, you just have to. The problem of dirty data gets exponentially worse with every new location you have, because again, Gabe can go to one location, Gabe can go to your second location, and there's multiple accounts being created for Gabe. Just as an example, we had a 70 plus location tire shop that had like 46% of their database was duplicates. So like almost half of their accounts had double Gabriel situations. Now, a one shop, so I just looked at some data from a one shop, they still had, I think it was 14%. So it's still a problem, and still a problem that can be costly. If you want to market to your customer base and you're accidentally sending out 14% mailers than you should be, or 14% more text messages than you should be, you're spending a lot of extra money, and you're upsetting your customers. Your customers, like when I got the Gabe and Gabriel mailer, I know you're not personalizing me. I'm a number to you, right? And so the one shop still has this issue, and we built out a process that's more plug and play to help them the same way we're helping the big shop. And this is really a product that's good for anybody.
No, that's great. Gabe, I feel like I could have interviewed you for another hour. I mean, there's so many more questions that I have for you, and I would love to have you on again. But it's fascinating what you guys are doing. It's amazing what's happening with technology, and I think that any business needs to kind of stay up on the technology. Is there any one final thought you want to leave the audience with that you may? I know there's so much more we could talk about, but is there anything that I really want to leave this audience with this one last thought?
My last thought, and it's been hinted at, I think, mostly through this conversation. It's data equals dollars, and there's a lot that you could do, whether you're using us or you're using a CRM or you find another CDP. There's a lot that a shop owner can do to make your data work for you, your customer data work for you. So making sure that there's processes in place where you're saying, when somebody purchases 4 tires, here's what we put into our point of sale. Here's the POS code, you might call it, or the transaction code. Formalize that, normalize that. Every time somebody buys 4 tires, here's what we're putting in the system. And then when you're using a tool like us or like other ones, and you say, hey, I want to market everyone that's bought this type of tire. If you've created a system in place where that's happening, where there's a normalized, here's how we put in data, it makes those processes easier. Making sure that you're encouraging people to collect data. The worst thing somebody can say is no. If you ask the customer, can we get an email from you? And they say no, that's fine. That's the worst thing they can say. But making sure that your folks on the shop floor are asking for phone number, email, and physical address, that's money to you. Your customer data is money to you. So collecting that, normalizing the process of how that data is entered into your systems, whether you're using Cinch, whether you're using CRM, gets a lot easier.
And that email, if a tech just says, hey, can I get your email address? And they say, I'd rather not give you the email address. A good response is, well, once in a while we send out coupons and, they can come in from email. So that's when I'm asking for your email. Oh, okay, great. And then that would probably change more than 50% of the people from not giving it to giving it. Gabe, how can people get a hold of you or learn more about Cinch?
Yeah, so I would say check out our website. It's cinch.io. There's a lot of free information on there. You don't have to schedule a demo right off the bat. We've got a lot of really cool case studies on there that you can read up on. We've got a pretty good online presence if you want to check out our YouTube page or our LinkedIn page or our Facebook page. There's a lot more information you can learn about the way we work and the value that we bring. Now, on our website, you can set up a demo. Make sure if you do schedule a demo that you mentioned you're coming from Jim in this podcast. If you want to reach out to me, that's great. I'm gabe.davis@cinch.io. So that's gabe.davis@cinch, cinch.io. So yeah, reach out to us. We're happy to not do the hard sell, just learn from you, see if we can benefit your business.
All right, that's great. I didn't even know that you're going to have my name put on there, but it's probably to figure out where people are coming from.
Yeah.
And for you listeners out there, I really appreciate you joining us. Gabe, first of all, before I say that, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. I really had a great time talking with you. And again, I feel like I could have interviewed for you for another hour and gained so much more information. It was really enjoyable. And thank you for taking the time with us today.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Jim. Anyone that's a friend of Jim is a friend of ours. And yeah, we love this industry. Love working with you, and hope to be talking to you soon in the future.
Sounds great, Gabe. And if you're listening to the podcast and you're listening to my podcast, first of all, I want to say, if you're thinking about selling your business in the next couple of years and you own an auto repair type business, I strongly urge you to reach out to me. We should have a conversation. I'm going to tell you that a conversation that we can have would be confidential. There's no charge for it. And I'm going to tell you, when I talk to business owners a couple years before they're ready to sell, I usually can help them get their business more sellable. I can maximize their sales price, and I can get better terms for them. And it's not me doing anything. I'm not going to charge you for that. You and I having an hour or a couple 1-hour conversations over a couple year period of time could make a huge difference when you go to sell your business. And I'm always there available for the auto repair workers out there. So anyways, if you like this show and you like watching it, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any videos. I'd really appreciate it if you hit like, and if you have any comments, please leave a comment. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great day.